it and continue. So you can just press on got it or okay, then we continue. So I would like to begin by saying that this is one of the monthly youth mentorship series conducted under my mentorship program called Impact Borderless Digital. And it started way back effectively in 2019, before COVID. And during COVID, we decided to make it virtual. And then we also learned that we can make it hybrid. So that is why today it is hybrid. We have physical participants here in Nairobi, but at the same time, we have online participants like you. And it is focusing on youth talent and career development, because we are living in an era when there is no job security or employment security as such. Instead, we have what we call career security. So the youth must be skilled enough to have the transferable skills they need to adapt resiliently to the changing needs of the labor market. So I'm your host, Nation Adero. I'm a lecturer at Taita Taveta University. By profession, I'm a geomatics engineer, and my teaching units are engineering surveying, mine surveying, and GIS, of course, with some support courses in communication in science and engineering, climate change, and any other assignments from time to time. I also participate in conferences. For example, I would like to alert you that next week from 8th to 10th August, we'll have a major international conference that has been running annually from the year 2017. It is called RCMRD International Conference. The RCMRD is Regional Center for Mapping of Resources for Development, founded in 1975 with a membership of over 20 countries. And the annual conference attracts experts from all over the globe. And it is also a space for young people to learn and network. It mainly focuses on surveying solutions, GIS, and remote sensing. And you can register online. Just look for RCMRD International Conference. You can register as a delegate, and based on that registration, you can be allowed in at Kasarani, where the office is based, the headquarters, and you can network with international experts. So that opportunity is critical. So far, so good. I would like now to welcome the online participants to introduce themselves, and I'll go in the order of the names I see on the screen. So I'll start with Peter Junguna. Just introduce yourself, where you are connecting from, your area of interest or profession. Then we'll go to Audrey, Vanessa, then Boniface, then Esther, then Irene. In that order, thank you.
Thank you, Nation. My name is Peter Njuguna. I'm a geospatial engineer, currently working with Kenya Power, specializing in GIS and cadastral service. Thank you.
Thank you. Next is
good evening, everyone. Vanessa. I'm currently studying procurement and logistics management from KCA University.
Thank you. Welcome. Boniface.
Yes, thank you, Dr. Nation. My name is Boniface Odhiambo. I'm a graduate at Taita Taveta University. I've pursued a course in Bachelor of Science in Geoinformatics, and I've specialized in geographic information systems design and creation. Thank you.
Welcome. And now we go to Esther, then Irene, then Calvin.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Esther Malkea Oulo. I am a graduate student of environmental engineering in Taita Taveta University and an entrepreneur. And I am also the founder of Evenus Limited that deals with renewable energy, environment conservation, and natural resource management. And I'm glad to be here taking this class on career security.
Thank you. Next.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
Hello, can you hear me? Good evening.
We can hear you. Proceed.
Okay, I read Vienna in Land Survey chapter, currently working at Nyawade Geoconsult Association.
Thank you. And then Calvin.
Good evening, everyone. I hope you can hear me.
We can hear you, so you can tell us where you are joining us from and your area of interest and profession.
I'm Calvin Andrew Bell. I'm joining you in from Uganda. I'm a land surveyor with an interest in various fields in land surveying, from engineering surveys to topographical surveys, majorly, plus also cadastral surveys. And I'm glad to join into this conversation with you. Thank you.
Thank you, Calvin. And now we'll go straight. We also have a representative of the physical participants here. On behalf of all the physical participants here, he can introduce himself.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Trevor Langat. I'm currently a student in Taita Taveta University. I'm going to join my 4th year. I'm pursuing a Bachelor of Science in Geoinformatics. Thank you.
Thank you. And now we are going into the main business. And this session is all inclusive. It is not for geomatics experts alone. It is not for engineers alone. It is for every youth who would like to be well equipped in career development. So be expectant. So I'm going to share the screen. Yeah. Just a minute as I close some windows. So please confirm if from your side you can see the full screen. If you can see the full screen from your side, please let me know.
Yes, I can.
Yeah, that is okay. So today we are on future-proofing your career prospects in the 21st century. And future-proofing there is a keyword because we are looking far into the future and we are asking ourselves, how can you be ready for that future? How can you have a program for anticipatory skills development? Because research has also established 65% of primary schoolers today have not had their jobs defined in the future yet. So it means we are training them for jobs that do not exist yet. And so the best gift you can give them is to prepare them for that future through adaptive resilience and skills development. And you can tweet from your screen. You are allowed to tweet what we are doing here. So you can share and tag the Twitter handle at Impact Borderless 1. That is the Twitter handle for this youth mentorship program. And at Hopadero, that is my personal Twitter handle. And the slogan for Impact Borderless Digital Series is Borderless Impact without imposition. Without imposition, because it is for the willing, it is voluntary. And those who get into it passionately and give it the drive it needs emerge victors. And we have had so many examples of the same. So I'm National Data Lecturer at Taita Taveta University, a youth mentor, and also a mentor under FIG. FIG is the International Federation of Surveyors. So it is the global professional body for geomatics experts. So just some preliminaries, and you may see some giraffes there because our university is located in the Savo region, rich in biodiversity, notably wildlife. And I personally like the giraffe because it has very good eyesight and it can see far. You can see its reach, but we are saying the height cannot be divorced from the long legs. The legs are so long. In fact, if you look at the legs and you measure the same as a surveyor, you may be surprised that the neck is shorter than the legs. So you see it is tall because it is resting on very long legs. And that is how it is with mentorship. We see some people emerging as very good professionals, but we forget the shoulders on which they are standing. So everyone needs a good mentor, and you should be more visible than your mentor because you are resting on a higher platform. So you need this platform to enhance your performance, and through influence, you can be outstanding. So that is where Taita Taveta University is located, for those who don't know. And it is the only university in Kenya that can be accessed through all the modes of transport except water. So you can go there by rail, by air, you can go by road. It is only that we don't, it is not on the, it is not by the ocean. So you, by water, you won't be able to access it. But that is a very strong point. So if you didn't know where it is only 320 kilometers from Nairobi, and you can travel comfortably to the place via the standard gauge railway. So make it a point to visit this university, which is a young and progressive university. And that is the vicinity of the university, which is very refreshing, the amazing landscape within the Savo region. And when we are talking of progressive career development, we usually cover all these items in this monthly youth mentorship forum, from number 1 all the way to number 6. So if you've been asking yourself, how can you have a better CV, better email etiquette and interview skills, and how can you acquire scholarships for international exposure so that you can learn abroad? All this we cover under the youth mentorship program. But today we are going to focus mainly on productivity tools, so that we cannot do everything at one go. We program our monthly series to focus on one item. And today we are on productivity tools and how can you enhance your skills and brand. So you need to think borderless, because the labor market of today, the generation you are living in, is not confined to the 4 walls, but rather it is borderless. So don't think in terms of brick and mortar. Think in terms of being a global citizen, and don't be proud and contented that you are people are calling you an expert in your region. Maybe it is only within Kakamega you are an expert, and you think that is enough, or within Nairobi City County. No, you have to compete with the rest of the world. So it is about borderless perspective. When it comes to career development, we have been too much confined within what we call linear career growth trajectory. But the world nowadays requires you to be able to collaborate with other experts, interdisciplinary collaboration. That is what you need for impactful and formidable career development, so that you can make an impact. And some of us don't start, they wait for to feel good first before they start. But we are being challenged by this Aristotelian ethics, that you have to learn by doing. So for the things you have to learn before we can do them, we learn by doing them. And I appreciate those who have made it a point to spare this Saturday, because there are so many activities, so many entertainment sports, which have short-term rewards. But For long-term rewards, you need to sacrifice and wait for some time because there's no instant gratification for the long-term growth trajectory that you need in order to be a distinguished expert and professional. So let's proceed and see. This is a good example for you, I believe. This is research by some scholar in Malaysia. I was trying to compare Malaysia to other countries against best practices. And in terms of training, giving emphasis to skills-based training, 70% practical learning against 30% theory-based learning. The benchmark here was Germany. And then when it comes to employability skills, Australia offering a very good example in terms of delivery. Germany again, linkage to industry, Australia, government involvement, Japan, PPPs, public-private partnership, France, and branding, Germany. So if you look at those key points, you will agree with me that in order to be impactful, you should ask yourself, what skills, market-ready skills are you acquiring from the curriculum? So you have to go beyond what is taught in class. Again, it is about collaboration. So take attachment seriously if you have a chance. Also take internship seriously after graduating, because that is what will help you to rise above the ordinary competition. So as we proceed, let's see. I want to involve you in this by asking you, look at those disciplines that we know of and tell me what the main difference is in terms of linear career growth trajectory and in terms of collaborative career development. Which disciplines would you say encourage more of linear career growth trajectory, and which ones would you say are encouraging more of collaborative career development? Any feedback from the audience? We can start with the online audience. Any feedback? Just feel free to go fast and start talking.
With traditional traditional engineering, there's room for collaboration because coming up with an ecosystem requires different. There's collaboration in engineering because I'm there, as well as law. However, in pure mathematics, I think the more proficient and precise you are, and as a mathematician, there's also personal accolade accorded to them, as well as medicine. This requires you as the individual to be elite. With engineering and law, there's room for collaboration, not unless you're talking about innovation, where different guys in the medical industry will go work on a patient or on a disease or cancer research and all that. But that is my point of view. As well, if I go down to the lower list,
Yes.
I would value ICT as collaboration and not linear, because we are in the 4th industrial revolution. And that's where a lot of innovation and a lot of newness and abrupt, disruptive technologies are coming up. Yes, that's it from my end.
Thank you for that input. And then I'll welcome one more comment, maybe from one of the physical participants. What would you say is the major distinction between the two, the ones in gray and the ones in black?
Okay, I have same consideration or same point of view like the audience who was just talked. For instance, if you see like nowadays, you can do a project with someone whom, even despite of the distance aspect, you can be doing a project, for instance, using the GitHub repository, maybe working on certain projects. Yeah, so that is under IT. Yeah, and from the side of medicine, according to me, it's more of linear and linear point of view.
Okay, thank you. And on my part, when I was classifying this, I had the conviction that medicine, traditional engineering, such as mechanical engineering, even civil engineering, then law and pure mathematics, they tend to encourage linearity. And that is how the curriculum has been delivered. And that is why you find that you meet graduates of medicine and hardly do they study beyond the confines of medicine, clinical practice, for example. And when you come to ICT, you find that there are diversity in terms of the units. They are exposed to economics. You find economists who are so much into issues of technology adoption. And so they have to read wider and have broad knowledge even of the sustainable development goals and all that. So my argument is that if you look at the black and the gray areas are encouraging more of collaboration. And if you are to do a survey of top companies in the world and ask yourself which kind of professionals are heading them, you will find that mostly they are the people in the gray and not in the black. So this is why I'm calling for a mindset change. You may be studying medicine, engineering, law, mathematics. Ask yourself, what is there beyond my cocoon? How can I collaborate with others? And there's a good example from Kenya. I know someone who did industrial mathematics at a PhD level and came back to Kenya from Germany, realized that there was really nothing to do with that except lecturing, and then challenged self to go abroad, Netherlands, and find a way to collaborate with engineers in industry. And now he's doing a very good job in helping engineers design machines that can give us solutions in terms of detecting very small particles and even viruses that are smaller than bacteria. And there's the mathematical modeling that goes with that. So that kind of mindset change will take you far. And then such a person may end up heading a major international organization by breaking through the straitjacket of linear career growth mindset in mathematics. So challenge yourself, and that is the challenge I'm giving you. So if you're doing procurement, for example, there's a big opportunity for you to learn about how ICT can enhance supply chains, can help optimize supply chains, how mathematical models can help you in with that optimization. What is the role of machine learning in the same? And then also learn how to communicate effectively, and that will make you an all-round person ready to adapt to the career trajectory, the AD career trajectory of the future we are facing, and hence be able to future-proof your career. So let's proceed to the productivity tools. And productivity tools, now I'm saying there are benefits of genuine software subscription. You may be surprised. Your colleague is able to generate very good PowerPoint slides, but you are not. Part of the reason could be the kind of software you are using. It is not the most updated one, or maybe it is pirated. And I know people say software is expensive, but nowadays with what we call software as a service, you have subscription-based system, for example, Microsoft Office, where for 5 licenses to use, you can be paying like 12,000 in a year. And if you are maybe a household, or if you are a group of friends, I think that is something you can easily subscribe to, and then you get optimal benefits of that you get from genuine software. And that is example, benefits of genuine software subscription. You'll have the benefits of when you are doing PowerPoints, you can have modern design aids enhanced by artificial intelligence. And you need to know how to use what we call horizontal solutions. Horizontal solutions, these are the common software packages that are available to the general population, such as Microsoft Office solutions. before you go to the vertical ones that are so specific, such as maybe ArchiCAD, AutoCAD, SAPAC, those are vertical solutions because they are used by a thin segment of users as opposed to the horizontal solutions that you use every day, and they are the ones that you need to maximize on so that you can improve your productivity skills. So let me just give you an example. For example, when we have PowerPoint and you want to make maximum use of the space available, please be using text boxes. So you go to Insert and you come to text box. Then it will be able to give you that freedom of organizing so many elements on that slide, okay? And then what I'm writing here is when the boundary is dotted, it means whatever you can change here will only affect what is inside the box. But what happens when you press escape? When you press escape, the boundary becomes continuous. So it means whatever you are going to change will change everything in the box. And you can see now it is changing everything in the box. And then when you have a mouse and you right click, you right click and hold, you are able to move this box. And then what you can do is once you move it, you can choose to copy or move. If you move, of course, you are just moving it to a new place. But if you copy, then you are able to make your work faster because you'll be able to, maybe if I have to copy this, let me get a mouse. So if you have a mouse, you should right click and hold the way I'm doing. Then when you are here, just say copy. So you'll be able to edit it very fast. Maybe you have edit here. And then this one you say is John. And yeah, and then what we are saying with PowerPoint, also learn to do bullets, maximum 6 bullets, because of what we call primacy recency effect. If you are given a list of items, mostly your mind works in such a way that you'll easily remember the first 3 and the last 3. That is how we came up with maximum of 6 bullets under that core philosophy of primacy recency effect. So don't overpopulate your PowerPoint with so many bullet points. Keep to a maximum of 6 so that people can capture what you are presenting better. But again, people are attracted to information as you present, depending on how it excites their attention. That is why it is not recommended that you just have static points like this, but you have what we call, you should go to animation like this. And then if we say I want it to appear, then it will be number 1, for example. That is what I did for the rest. And when you move with genuine software, latest software, when you move it, it is able to show you the geometry for precision, those lines. For example, now it is showing me that there is equidistance between the second and the third. So I can leave it there. And when I move it this way, I can see to the left-hand side, they are now all aligned and I can stop it there. So I did the same as I have shown you. Just go to this, click on the box, entire box, continuous perimeter like that. Then go to animation and then choose the order. So why is it better this way? It is better this way because when you go to slideshow now, you'll see what happens. Maybe you are presenting at a conference. For example, the upcoming RCMRD conference next week. That is Regional Center of Mapping for Resources and Development. So the audience will be able to pay attention to the first few points. Maybe you are talking of productivity tools and you are explaining this poster. And then by mouse click or the stroke of the key for next, the first points will be able to appear. You see, so you explain that, then again, that one appears, then you mouse click, that one appears, then that one appears. So instead of having all of them, at once, people will be up, their eyes wandering, attention will be deconcentrated. Instead, you should use that kind of animation, and don't use animations that are too vibrant, that are too ecstatic. Just be modest. So you can use like the ones you have used here that simply appear. And that is one productivity tip for the youth. And if you can make such a presentation before a prospective employer, you will find that you emerge among the top 2%. And what I've been saying is that people are complaining that the number of people who have gone to school has risen so much. We have a high number of graduates every year. So some people are saying the competition is now tougher, but my argument is that it is tougher only for the average people. But for the excellent, it is even much easier because the majority are lazy and will not go into making such decent presentations and would rather do something quickly, copy paste with so many text, with so much text, such that you don't even know, were you really meant to make a PowerPoint presentation or just to reproduce the paragraphs from the Word document? So you'll find that the youth who can take a keen interest in presenting such are always within the 98th percentile, top 2%. And that is why it is easier for them to penetrate and change jobs from here to there, from here to there, and then they rise very quickly. So you can see a good example for this online session, only 8 are online. So you are among the top 2% that we were expecting to have. So I congratulate you all on that. So let's proceed. That is now on skilling. Again, when it comes to skilling, we have said that we go more for collaborative skills development, and it is lifelong. Don't say it is enough. You must ask yourself, are you becoming better every day, learning something new? Then when it comes to mentorship, most of the time you think a mentor should just be a senior person to you in terms of expertise, experience. No, a mentor can also be your peer. So learn what you can learn from your peers, and then a mentor can be someone junior to you. That is what we call reverse mentorship. For example, I do learn a lot from my students because they use some applications that I don't have time to use. So when I meet them, I ask them what is new, and they show me how to use them. For example, if you look at this poster, there's a barcode here that you should scan so that you can register. Some people would want to say, no, let me look for a second phone if this is on your phone so that you can scan, not knowing that you can save this as a picture on your phone. And then when you go to the QR scanner, you just ask it to scan what is in the gallery. There's an icon there for gallery. Then you'll be able to scan this picture when you choose it. So you don't need a second phone. So those are some of the things that we learn, senior people learn from younger people through what we call reverse mentorship. So when it comes to technology, these ones do encourage collaboration, such as Google Drive. Instead of sending attachment to your boss, why don't you put it in your Google Drive using the company email address that you've been given? For example, if you are working at Kenya Power, why don't you save it in Google Drive and just share the link so that your boss can change it collaboratively with you? Because if you have to share attachment, then you will keep on sending attachment. No, please use this one. This is version 3, version 4, version. What if 7 people, 10 people are working on that document? Imagine the confusion, and that is why it takes too long to deliver on assignments that have so many people working on the same report. So why don't you use these cloud collaboration tools? For example, OneDrive, Google Drive. Have you ever used Miro just for brainstorming? Have you ever used Canva to make a poster like this, or Adobe Express? And the example of QR readers I've already given you. So let's go to branding. To be a brand, it takes time. And one key property that will help you to be a brand is consistency. What can people identify you with? What will they say, this one, if we are looking for this quality, then that so-and-so is the go-to person. You cannot achieve that unless you have cut a niche and a consistent message. How are your tweets? Are your tweets addressing a particular topic passionately and obstinately without wavering, what of your LinkedIn page. So have that consistency. And that consistency is what has delivered for many people, such that we know them as brands in a particular area. And what of your life philosophy? Just today, after this, just go and ask yourself, what is my life philosophy? What defines me? Because there are some top organizations that ask you, what is your life philosophy? And it should be a concise and pointed statement without too many words. So have a life philosophy. What of your dignity? And what of years? Experience, of course, you earn it after years. But ask yourself, what is my experience in the years as the years pass by? Because you could be classmates. So calendar years will still pass. But what happens in terms of my experience in the years? So it is not merely the years of experience, but experience in the years. That is why, in my case, I'm not a believer in people flaunting 15 years of experience, 20 years of experience. I always ask, how much experience in those years? How much expertise in those years? Because you may have 15 calendar years, and you say that that is experience of 15 years, yet there's someone who has been so efficient, and that person has been busy being productive, not busy just being busy, doing routine things. So in 7 years, that person has mastered much more than someone who has stayed in that position for 15 years. So again, it is a challenge to the youth because you still have more time ahead of you. You have the potential to change that outcome by ensuring that you put more productivity into the hours, not just being proud of the number of hours you have been doing something. So again, you must be well versed with the SDGs, the 15 of them, if you are going to be a youth of influence. Know what is happening in terms of global development agenda. So productivity tools, these are a few of them. Even scholarship sources, maybe you can take a screenshot of that so that you can move faster. And today, I'm going to talk about these two. So many productivity tools that you should be asking yourself, have you been using any of them? For example, keeping your notes, Evernote, short things you need to remember. And what of listening to just some 7 minutes of motivation every morning from 7 good minutes on Spotify? What of trying to go to these sites and learn free, but very well researched and condensed information from Ashoka, Khan Academy, Udemy, Opportunity Desk, Africa, Coursera? Have you been asking yourself if you can learn from them? And what of our world in data? You may be looking for data, you think it's not there, then yet you can get the same from our world in data or Worldometer. What of edge collection? Maybe you are reading a very interesting article from a web page and you are wondering, where should I save it? And you forget where you have saved it on your computer. It is better to use Edge. The Edge browsers somewhere they are called Edge collections, and you just go there and you say, maybe you name them June 2023 articles, or maybe circular economy articles. So if you're reading on a web page, it will ask you, do you want to save this page? Then you say yes. Where do you want to save it? Under here. And then you'll be able to access that web page and the article anywhere, not only on the computer you are using, but whenever you sign into any other device, such as your smartphone, and you use Edge browser. So those are some simple but very effective productivity pathways that can help you to change outcomes and be ahead of the competition, or stay ahead of the competition. And look at Bitly. Bitly is for generating QR codes or shortening long links. So maybe you want to send your boss a link and the link is so long, web link. Maybe you want to post it on Twitter and it is too long. So what do? You can go Bitly, Google it, and then you will be able to create a link and you copy and paste that link onto it, and you will be able to shorten it and even change it into a QR code. some simple things that can help you to shine at workplace and change outcomes for the better. So let's see this example. Why am I giving this example? Because most of you are dealing with calculations and optimization. It could be in procurement, it could be in supply chain management, it could be in engineering. So I'm just giving this example where you are to minimize this cost function, and you have determined this is the equation. And this equation, this is an example from the latest book we have co-authored. And this cost function is just about the cost of excavation through dry land and through a wetland to lay a pipe. So there's X in terms of distance covered, and this is the coefficient that has been determined from the quantities in terms of what will go into, in terms of money, what will go into excavation. For example, this could be dollars and then X the distance. So this cost function came out to be as complex as this, 2.7 X plus 4.7. Of course, there are, you read the requirements and you come up with the equation, and it even has a square root. So if you are to minimize this, you know very well, those who have done calculus, that you need to find the first derivative of this, and you equate that derivative to 0. So when you equate that derivative to 0, you see the cost function should plot like this. And when you equate it to 0, this is the minimum. And this is where you'll be able to minimize fx, the cost. So where you find this point for x, that is the distance that you are to determine, so that you can use the least amount of money to lay that pipe in terms of excavation costs. So if you are in the field, for example, you are given that assignment and you find such an equation, of course, doing the differentiation using chain rule and getting it will take a lot of time. But have you tried this ready open source graphical function calculator called Desmos? So we want to see an example of Desmos here. Just Google Desmos. And when you do that, it will take you online, desmos.com. And then you just put in your equation here. And you can test it wherever you are. Maybe for you, the equation is fx x. Of course, there's also a keyboard here you can use. By the way, are you able to see the Desmos page that I'm displaying? Are you able to see it?
No, we are not able to see it.
What are you seeing instead?
We are seeing the Desmos graph
Are you seeing
that
the
you.
or the calculator, Desmos calculator? Are you seeing the
Not.
PowerPoint?
Yeah, we are seeing the PowerPoint.
Okay, so let me stop the PowerPoint and share this again. And let me know if you can now see. Can you see the Desmos page?
Yes, you can now see it.
Yes.
I'm saying fx is equal to maybe 4 sine x. You see, it is already drawing that graph for you very well, instead of struggling. And then let me give you an example of this. You see, I put that equation you saw on PowerPoint here on Desmos, and look at how nice it is doing this in a few seconds. It is doing that graph, and you just need to go to the minimum point here. When you click on it, you get the solution for x, for which the cost function would be minimum. And I believe this is something, maybe you are a senior undergraduate student or a graduate student dealing with optimization, and you have come up with the objective function, which would require linear programming or something like that. This is, you can see it is cutting across from engineering, science, all the way to procurement, supply chain management. I believe this is something that will be useful for you, because this is not meant to be a class. It is just meant to be giving you hints for mentorship. Now you can note it down and say, after this, I'm going to try Desmos. That equation I saw, which was so complex and I wanted a solution for it. Now I can do it. And when you are using Desmos, you may look at the scale. You know, if you are on 0, 0, let's say you are, look at the scale, you see, maybe you are on 1, 2, 3. You will not be able to see that graph, okay? So maybe you may be wondering, where is this graph of mine? And it is just the scale. So zoom in and out until you are able to see what it has plotted. For example, in this case, you see it is hiding here. And when it is like this, the curve is so much V-shaped, you cannot get the minima easily. So try to zoom in reasonably until you are able to get the solutions. So something like this, and where X is 0, it is also able to give you the value of Y. And it is as easy as that. I see some chart here. Okay, I've already solved that. So let's proceed. Let's proceed now to the PowerPoint. Let's proceed again with the PowerPoint. And I want to give you, let's go to the PowerPoint again. So again, this is also important to know. How do you use these hyperlinks for your how do you use these hyperlinks for your presentation? So what you do, you just highlight what you have written, and then you can come to this link. If there's something you had copied, it will appear here, but if it is not there, you need to look for it down here, insert link, for example. This one had already been linked. So I remove the link first if I have to show it. So you right click and you can also do it here, link. So insert link. And then if it is not a web link, which you can paste here, you can look for it in this current folder. We change the folder of the computer and get it, or browse pages or recent files. Then when you say okay, it will be linked. So you'll be able to show from the PowerPoint another file on your computer, for example. So you must know that it is saved on your computer if it is not a web file. And what happens is that once you have linked, that link is only active when you are on slideshow. So don't try to struggle with showing the link if it is not on slideshow. You must put it on slideshow first. Another example here, you see this one has been linked, but it is not going to work for you easily here. You have to go to slideshow. So when you are doing that, you see it is going to that equation. And when you have this equation in genuine software, updated software for Microsoft Office Word, in this case, you can also choose various styles. For example, if you go to linear, see what happens. Now you see these signs that you use in Excel. For example, if you are to put this in Excel for calculation, but if you are writing your document, maybe your report, then you'd better go to professional. And you see now it is appearing better in professional. This is what you have in your Word document. So you can play around with this linear, professional, or linear. So try to play around with that. Maybe you have written some equation and you are wondering how can you make it better. I believe, I don't know if you are using the Word document or the PowerPoint. Maybe I may need to share again. The Word document, yeah, this is what I was talking about. If you change, when you have this equation, you can change down here to linear, and you see what is happening. Now you see these symbols for exponent or power, which you can use in Excel, but when you are writing a document, Word document, you can go to all professional, and then you see now the those signs disappear and you get the raised to power, something appearing, which is better for your writing. So let's see another example from the PowerPoint. Another example here. So we have page 2 here, but as I said, you should put it on slideshow if you are going to show where it is. So I hyperlinked it, so I click on it, and it will be able to look for the document. What I'm going to show you here, look at this big report that we wrote last year, and you want to, I know sometimes when you are referring to a figure, for example, this figure 6, let's see where it is referred to in the text. Of course, you can search for it by doing Control F. And maybe you can't see it. I have to share first. Yeah, I have to share it. Yeah, this is the report I'm talking about. You can see it is a big report of 71 pages. Some reports can even be more than that, over 200 pages. So let's say this, in this report, you are referring to a figure, and I'm saying Control F will take you maybe table. Let's say table. So let's say table, what? Table 3. You see this table 3? Where is it referred to in the document? Let's see where it is in the document. Maybe, let me use table 2, yeah. So you see here, so instead of writing table 2, let me delete this first. Instead of writing table 2, you should be able to use what we call cross-referencing. It will be easier for you in these big documents. So this is where you want table 2 to appear because you are referring to it. So once your cursor is here, you should come to insert, then come to link. You see link? Then come to cross-reference. Then, you know, we are dealing with maybe when you have come here, maybe by default it could be here. Change it to table because the caption you are using for that is table. So all your captions must also be standardized so that if you are inserting a table, you go to the table caption. And then because it is table 2, look at where table 2 is and you click on it. Then it is asking you, are you going to do the entire caption? If you do the entire caption, then it is going to write in this bracket, table 2 exports of goods to Africa. But we don't want that. We only want the label here and the number. So you say only label and number. And when you do that, it is now there and you close. Now, when someone is reading this document, you'll see that sign that it is, you can click and follow. So control and click, and it goes to table 2. So if you are referring to table 2, again, maybe down after 10 pages, you should do the same, and then the person reading can go there directly. Now look at this one, because this one is not cross-referenced. Figure 7, if it is very far from here, or if you are referring to it the 3rd or 4th time, and it is many pages since you referred to it, you know, it will not be easy. You have to scroll up and down, but let's see. If I am to undo that, then I insert cross-reference, links, then cross-reference. Then now it is figure. The caption is now figure. It is not table anymore. Then it is figure 7 here, and I only want the label and number. Insert, and I close. Now look at what, if I'm reading this document, I can control and click, and I go to figure 7 directly. Of course, when you are inserting this caption, you must insert it also automatically in Word using the captions for figure. So these are some of the tips that can help you as a youth to be productive, to work faster. So I'm going to stop sharing this one so that we can finalize as we go into the PowerPoint again. Let's see what is now remaining here. So not much for today, because these are things we have covered before. For example, when to use CC on email and BCC. CC when you are copying that email to someone and you want the person you are writing to see that you have copied it to other people. And it's also good practice to write that the email has been copied to so and so. But BCC, this is what conferences do. For example, when you are getting invitation letter for the regional center for mapping of resources for development international conference that will take place from 8th to 10th next week, that is, you will find that you can only see the name of the sender and you see your name. So maybe you are thinking, oh, these people are sending this mail one by one. No, it is not one by one. It is to many people. But because of data privacy and security, you should use BCC because no one gave you permission to publicize their emails. So it is good practice when you are sending to people who are not in the same organization, they are spread far and wide, or you are not working on a common project. Then when you are sending that letter from yourself, ensure that you just on the two, just one person, then for the rest, BCC, blind copy. So for all the other conference participants being invited, just put on BCC so that each person will only see their email address and the communication, but will not be able to see the email addresses of other people because some people misuse email addresses of others. Once they have seen it is shared with so many people, they start sending emails to the other people or spams. So that is also part of good practice. So these are things that you are not normally taught in class, but when you go into industry, you find bosses who have been overworked and they have even forgotten that they were like you when they were fresh graduates, and they will really spoil your day because they will tell you this, you have done, what you have done is not ethical. And of course, saying I was not taught in class cannot be an excuse. That is where you need mentorship like this. So I want us to end there with the questions and comments from the audience so that we can have another topic for next time. And what I'm showing here, just some common mistakes in spelling. You know, spelling is also an indicator of how keen you are. So look at those spellings and ask yourself, have you been getting them right? Some people write a lot as one word, but a lot two words. Accommodation, most people, even these big hotels, you find one M. Yes, accommodation should be double M and double C. Dining should just be one N. I've seen dining at Kenyatta University written using double N, which is dining, not dining, but that is a whole university which has got a niche in education and the arts. So you wonder what is happening there. Millennium, you find with one N, yet millennium is double L and double N. These are some of the things that we are looking at whenever you apply and give us your CV. You find professor, some people writing with double F. You find formula, some people writing with R at the end. You may think it doesn't matter, but it matters to very keen employers. So far, so good. I think this is now a good place to end it. And here I'm just showing that we have said it is experience in the year. So for you to be a good mentor, you must also be exposed. And exposure is not something you just read about, you must experience it. So this one is just giving you my footprint in terms of mentorship, where I've been, how I've been a mentor under various programs, and the countries I've visited over the years, and the experience I've acquired from there in terms of intercultural intelligence, intercultural communication and expectation. So that one can also excite you why you need to network more so that you can be invited for conferences and travel the world, hence become a good mentor in future. Some of the physical mentorship forums we have had across Kenya, this was in Kisumu. And even when we are now sharing with our own students, networking them to go to distant places under summer school exchange programs, those are some of the activities we have together. So to be a good mentor, you must also be able to come down to the level of younger people so that they can also share with you the experiences and you can have that benefit of reverse mentorship. And even this one was one of the sessions where we were presenting on this mentorship program. So far, so good. And this is just the last, what I could call the latest conference where I participated in. This was in Chicago, that just last month, the United States. It is the International System Dynamic Society Conference. Every year we hold it, and this is a global professional society for modelers. So if you are passionate about systems modeling, you can join this society as a student. As a student, you pay a small amount of fee, but as a professional, the fees goes high. But it is better when you are in Kenya, for example, a low-income country or middle-income country, you'll pay less depending on the region you are coming from, and you'll have a chance to network. And this networking and exposure is not something you can read in the books. It's not something you will be given on a silver platter. You have to work for it and then expand your footprint. And here we were 280 presenters. So you can see from all over the world, if you can be among the 280 to be shortlisted to present at the conference, then it is something that is better than being comfortable in the classroom. And you can also see the volunteers who participated. And I represented you in this region. And you can see the names there. Nigerians are very aggressive. We need to increase the number of Kenyans who can be participating as volunteers, technical organizers, moderators of sessions at these epic events. Thank you. And now it is my time to get questions and comments from you. And if you are challenged enough and you want to join this society, then next year you may have a chance to go to Norway. It will be Norway. A year after that, Schaumburg, and you have to Delft, the Netherlands, and you can travel the world. So let's get questions and comments. And as we get questions and comments, you also launch the online poll. The online poll should be visible on your screen if you scroll. And what this one is meant to do is to evaluate the career fair session. It is anonymous evaluation, so that after this, we'll be able to know if the online participants were able to get us clearly in terms of the quality of transmission, the quality of interaction, and what they would expect at the next career fair event. That is the end for today. It will be my pleasure to hear from you. It will be my pleasure to get comments from you and questions, maybe on career choice, on scholarships, not necessarily within what we have done today. Thank you. Yes, online audience, any question, any comment? Maybe you have good news where you are. You have opportunities for our students at Taveta University for employment or attachment. You can also share the same this time. Any question, Irene? I can see the names here: Irene, Boniface, Calvin, Peter, Dennis, Audrey, and Imelda. So Imelda has written here that there are attachment opportunities at Base Titanium. So those who are looking for attachment, please try Base Titanium. That is in Kwale Coast region. Dennis, are you able to see the poll?
Yes, I'm actually filling in it.
Okay, and who among you will be at the Regional Center for Mapping of Resources for Development Conference? Who will be there?
Yes, actually, yeah, I'll be there for the conference.
Good. Have you got the conference program?
Well, not yet. I've not yet received the program, but they were to send me the
letter?
program via. Yeah.
Have you got the invitation letter?
Yeah, the invitation letter, I received it.
Okay. So let's see how the polling is faring on. Hello, Esther. We are saying we are now finishing and it is time for questions and comments.
Just a comment. I liked the fact that you're very keen on how we could improve the quality of our academic life using online services. And that got my attention because then even while coming up with a proposal or a PowerPoint presentation, somebody sees the quality of work you do, and that's a good impression. Your graphs are well articulated, and I think even just sharing your documents is in an elite manner, which creates a very good first impression. Yes, thank you.
Thank you, thank you. We have got you loud and clear. Calvin, how is it in Uganda? Do you have a similar mentorship program? How is it faring on? And you are a FIG mentee under the International Federation of Surveyors. Maybe you can advise Kenyans who are here, such as Boniface Odhiambo, who is within the geomatics community, about becoming a mentee of the International Federation of Surveyors, FIG. Calvin? Calvin is from Uganda and is my mentee in Uganda under the FIG mentorship program, that is International Federation of Surveyors, that is global. So Calvin, you can say something?
Yeah, currently in Uganda, I think it's such programs are not that many at the moment, but hopefully within the next few years, they will keep on improving. And I know from the few experience, the little experience I've so far got from the FIG mentorship program, I think so many people need to really indulge themselves into it. They need to get into it. It's a great program for learning, networking.
Thank you. Yes,
and,
yes.
Yeah, I would advise a number of people to join it, either as a mentee or a mentor, so that you are all able to share knowledge and various experiences in our professions.
Thank you, Calvin.
I guess that's what I can say for now.
Thank you. So far so good. And if there's anyone who would like to give us any final comment, you are free. And there's someone here who said she's into procurement. You can see most of the people who joined here are from engineering and science related or IT related disciplines. Can you tell us if this session today has also been useful to you in your procurement studies? Or Peter, as an experienced geospatial engineer, was it repetition of what you already have known in industry, or there was something that you learned that is new and you will now implement at work, at the workplace?
Thank you, Nation. Like we say in surveying, redundancy is always good because it puts you in a stronger position to resolve something. I would say that what you've shared is quite informative, quite practical, especially in the ever competitive space or world. You have got to really work to stand out, to make that difference. So keeping in touch with what is happening, best practices. I think that guarantees you the security. So we cannot really afford to be in comfort zone because things are changing all the time. So yes, I would encourage, especially the youth, the students who are graduating, us who are in the profession, to keep tabs, appreciate the mentorship from our seniors or the reverse, as the case may be, so that at least we can remain ahead in the game. Yes, that is it from me.
Thank you, Peter. Now we are going to close. And Imelda, I don't know if you'll close for us with any greetings from Base Titanium.
Hi, Mr. Dero. Thank you for the session. It was quite informative. I joined in a little bit late because I was at work today, but yeah, I think I've noted so many things that I need to research further and dive in further. It was very, very insightful. Yeah, receive greetings from Kwale. It's a beautiful place, and yes, there are attachment opportunities for those who are in campus. So think you can share with your networks, or any student who's here can apply. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you. I'll end by saying that it is more of the experience in the years than years of experience. And it is about busy being productive rather than busy being busy. So think of what you put into the hours. And let's meet next time for a similar mentorship session. All the best for now and have a great evening.